The United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense latest intelligence update on Ukraine, June 30, 2023. In a June 2023 report, the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute assessed that Russia's military spending budget for 2023 is around 6.6 trillion rubles, USD $85.8 billion. This equates to about 4.4% of Russian GDP, compared with 3.6% in 2021. Before the invasion of Ukraine began, Russia's true military expenditure remains uncertain due to a lack of transparency, including the use of classified budget lines, which account for approximately 22% of the Russian government's total budget. Although only part of the defense budget is spent on the war in Ukraine, the increase in spending highlights the cost of Russia's activity in Ukraine. In addition, Russia almost certainly faces extra direct budgetary defense costs due to the war, including security expenses in the occupied regions and defensive measures in regions bordering Ukraine. The Air Force Command of Ukraine Armed Forces update. On the night of June 30, 2023, Russia attacked Ukraine from the southeastern direction. 13 kamikaze drones of Iranian production, Shahed 136 and 131 from the eastern coast of the Sea of Azov, Primorsk, Akhtarsk, and 4 anti-aircraft guided missiles from the S-300 air defense system. Military and infrastructure facilities in the Zaporizhzhia region were attacked. The Air Force and air defense of the Defense Forces of Ukraine destroyed 10 out of 13 Shahed 136 and 131 attack drones. No casualties so far. The Institute for the Study of War Russian Offensive Campaign Assessment. Ukrainian forces conducted counteroffensive operations in at least 3 sectors of the front line on June 30th. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Ukrainian forces continued offensive operations in the Melitopol, western Zaporizhzhia Oblast, and Berdyansk, eastern Zaporizhzhia Oblast directions. The Ukrainian General Staff added that Ukrainian forces achieved partial success on the Lavadny, Pryatna line, on the administrative border of Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia Oblasts, and on the Mala-Tokmachka, Ocheretuvate line in western Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Ukrainian forces also reportedly consolidated newly reached lines in the Privilia, Zalazyansky direction north of Bakhmut and are continuing to exert pressure on Bakhmut's flanks. Ukrainian Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar reported that Ukrainian forces are confidently advancing on Bakhmut's flanks and that Russian forces have transferred a large number of troops to the area. Maliar added that Ukrainian forces are advancing with varying degrees of success in southern Ukraine, advancing 1 kilometer on some days and advancing less on others. Select Russian sources also claimed that Ukrainian forces counterattacked around Kremina and on the Donetsk city, Avdiivka frontline. The Institute for the Study of War Key Takeaways today. Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief General Valery Zaluzhny stated on June 30th that Ukrainian forces continue to advance in eastern and southern Ukraine despite lacking essential resources. The Russian information space is reacting disproportionately to the Russian military's failure to drive a small Ukrainian force from the southern bank in Kherson Oblast. Ukrainian intelligence reported that Russian forces and officials are gradually leaving the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, possibly in preparation for an intentional accident at the facility. Russian forces remain unlikely to cause an intentional accident at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and Russia is likely continuing to use the threat of an intentional radiological incident to attempt to constrain Ukrainian counteroffensive actions and Western support for Ukraine ahead of the upcoming NATO summit. The Wagner Group is reportedly still actively recruiting personnel within Russia, although it is unclear if new recruits are signing Wagner contracts or military contracts with the Ministry of Defense. The Wagner Group reportedly will operate 3 large field camps in Belarus, and an apparent Belarusian military blogger reported that Wagner Group personnel will deploy to Osipovichy, Belarus, soon. A Kremlin-affiliated news outlet reported that the Wagner Group will continue operating in Africa, although the details of its operations remain unclear. Wagner Group financier Yevgeny Prigozhin reportedly dissolved his domestic media company Patriot. Russian and Ukrainian forces continued to engage in battles along the Kupiansk, Svatov, Kremina line. Ukrainian forces continued to counterattack and reportedly made some gains in the Bakhmut area. Ukrainian and Russian forces continued to skirmish on the Avdiivka Donetsk city line, and Ukrainian forces advanced as of June 30th. Ukrainian forces continued counteroffensive operations in western Zaporizhzhia Oblast and on the administrative border between Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia Oblasts. Russian authorities continue efforts to improve monetary and educational benefits to servicemen in order to retain loyalty and incentivize military service. Russian officials and occupation authorities are attempting to explain away the deportation of Ukrainian children to Russia.